Pokemon Emerald with no Poke Center healing was brutal, so let's have a refresher challenge. Today's the day that we figure out, would I be able to beat Pokemon Gold with a team of only in-game traded Pokemon? Unlike in Gen 1, there's a lot less trades this time. Rather than 9 trades, there are only 6, and 2 of them are in Kanto, so we'll have to fight the Elite Four with only 4 Pokemon. On the upside, our first Pokemon is one that we get before the first gym, so we get to start the challenge earlier. Like always, I'm writing this script as I go through with the challenge, so all of this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. The types on my team are going to be super lopsided, so I doubt I can beat Red, but I should at least get in the Hall of Fame. Let's explain the rules. I'm only allowed to use Pokemon that I've got from in-game trades. I'm allowed to use HM Pokemon at required parts, since it would be literally impossible otherwise, but I can't use them in battle. We have to do every trade that's in the game. For Pokemon that we need to evolve before trading, we're allowed to grind them on wild Pokemon till they evolve, but we're not allowed to use them to progress in the game. No glitches or exploits are allowed, and I can't use the items menu in battle. Items are only allowed outside of combat or as held items. Let's do this. The first trade is in Violet City, and it's a Bellsprout for an Onix, one of my favorite Pokemon. Onix isn't very good, and it'll be our only Pokemon until before the 3rd gym, so this might be a challenge. I catch a Bellsprout and trade for Onix named Rocky. He gets insanely high defense and pretty decent speed, but is horrible at everything else, and also has pretty garbage moves. I'll need TMs later for sure. Since the first real challenge is Sprout Tower, and we're using a rock and ground type, I can't level up in there in preparation for the gym like you normally would. I'll need to grind up on Bugs a bit first. While I grind, let's go over how traded Pokemon work. They gain experience at 1.5 times speed, however, if they get too high a level, they start disobeying orders, so overleveling is a problem. In fact, this is a massive problem in this run, since before we have the second badge, Onix won't listen to us if he's past level 10, and that's just completely unavoidable. There's no chance in hell we could get to Bugsy and beat him at level 10. So we're gonna have to deal with an already bad Pokemon being disobedient and just suffer through it. I get to level 10 and try to fight Flying Gym Leader Falconer, but it's completely one-sided. Mudslap ruins my accuracy, so I stand no chance until I hit level 14 to get Rock Throw. That means we're gonna have a disobedient Onix for a decent chunk of the start of the game. Grinding while disobedient is brutal since Rocky so rarely does the right move. It's difficult just trying to get him to attack, even when he'd easily take out the opponent. Eventually, I get Rocky to level 14 so he learns Rock Throw, and I go after Falconer again. It takes quite a few tries, thanks to the combo of Rocky not listening to me, and Mudslap lowering my already bad accuracy on Rock Throw, but eventually, I managed to win. This is Gen 2 though, and it wasn't until Pokemon Let's Go that every single badge gave you at least some obedience level increase, so this doesn't really help us. Bellsprout Tower would probably be impossible right now, but thankfully all you get from that is Flash, so we don't actually need to do that right now anyway. I head south, avoiding as many trainer battles as I can on my way to Azalea Town. I have to say, I don't look forward to the Bug Gym, considering that I lose to random Rocket Grunts and Slowpoke Well due to Rocky never listening to me. Yes, Slowpoke Well took me multiple attempts. Next is Bugsy, who is male. I know about 2,000 of you guys said, is no one going to point out that Bugsy is a guy? No, you just didn't check the comments before you commented to see that I've been told countless times, and will probably be told at least once a day until the day I die. I know Bugsy is a guy. I misspoke and said she once. I even called him he in the same battle. Sorry, I just had to get that off my chest. Like 2 months of reading that has driven me insane. That or it was the No Poke Center challenge. Anyway, the gym battle is going great until Scyther. It's bug and flying, so Rock Throw has a double type advantage, so I only need to hit it once. But Rocky decides to take a nap as Fury Cutter is building power with each use. In an insane stroke of luck, he misses resetting its power, and Rocky eventually wakes up at the last moment and hits a Rock Throw for the victory. With this badge, Rocky will now obey us up until level 31, so let's make the most of this. Our last big fight before we get our second Pokemon is our rival again, and my god we do not stand a chance. Ghastly goes down easy, but we hardly hurt Bayleaf with Rock Throw, and it annihilates us with Razor Leaf. I'm gonna have to go grinding again, but I am petrified of having Rocky be disobedient again so soon. Oh, and by the way, people have been asking why I named my rival Godfrey in all of the challenges. That's my friend Brandon. He isn't a full-time YouTuber like me, but he does occasionally make videos and do streams and stuff, and in fact, he just recently did his first 2 Pokemon challenges. Pokemon Emerald with only 1 Shedinja, which is one that you guys request from me quite often, in fact, as well as Pokemon Gold with 1 Hoot Hoot. Go check it out. Card on screen and link in the description. I get to level 25 and take a few tries at the rival fight. Thanks to his own terrible move choice and not getting crit by Razor Leaf, I managed to win without too much trouble. I honestly thought I'd need quite a few more levels. I got pretty lucky. Finally, we can get our second Pokemon. I catch a Drowsy, my favorite Pokemon, outside of Goldenrod City, and I trade him to some guy called Mike to get a Machop called Muscle. Crap name, but it's a Japanese game, so I'm gonna assume it's a reference to Kaniku Man. Weird since Muscle is female. This is perfect though, since the next gym is the normal type one and Machop is fighting. Plus, you know I love wrestlers. Whitney's normal gym was a cakewalk thanks to Muscle. Not only do we have the type advantage, but Miltank's dreaded rollout isn't effective against fighting, completely shutting down her strategy. This was an easy win. This is 2 challenges now, where the dreaded Whitney actually ended up being pretty easy. Before we go on to the always brutal Marty, I get the Old Rod and Olivine and start fishing for a Krabby. Once I get it, I trade it for Voltorb named Volty. It still learns no electric moves in Gen 2, but I can always give it Thunder later through a TM. No Thunderbolt TM in this game, unfortunately. Thunderbolt's weaker, but it's way more accurate. On my way back to Ecruteak City, Muscle evolved into a Machoke. Really strong Pokemon. It's a shame she can't hit ghosts, though. It's time for Morty, and Rocky is almost at a disobedient level, so I have to save the game before the fight so that failed attempts won't make me level up too much. First is Ghastly, who uses Spite to remove some of our Rock Throw power points. That's not good. Haunter is next, and luck was on my side, critting for a one-shot. Another Haunter is out, and this one hits a Nightshade for a bit of damage before I finish it. I'm somehow not cursed yet. Next out is Gengar, and he misses Hypnosis twice, but he gets me on a 3rd try. Dream Eater is just too much for us to handle, even with our insane luck. Neither of our Pokemon can hit ghosts, so the fight's over. I need a new strategy. I go back to Goldenrod and spend most of my money converting it into coins to buy Thunder and teach it to Volty. It's only got 70 accuracy, but it's got 120 power, so that's a lot. Problem is, I need 5,000 more coins than I already have, so I need to gamble for an insane amount of time to afford this, and I mean a lot. I started with 500 coins. Would you look at how insane this is? I know if you're really good at the timing minigame, you can time it out and perfectly get all 7s and stuff, but I'm terrible at it. Best thing I can do is mash and hope for the best. Eventually, I get the TM and try for Morty again. First is Rocky versus Ghastly. I open with Rock Throw and nearly take it out as Ghastly finishes itself off with Curse. Gengar is out next and I Rock Throw again. Hypnosis misses, as does my following Rock Throw. He keeps missing Hypnosis, and I keep trying Rock Throws, but eventually I get put to sleep, and Dream Eater finishes me off. Next is Volty, and Thunder easily finishes Gengar off. Haunter is next, and one Thunder takes him out. Leveling up teaches us Rollout as one last Haunter comes out. Thunder misses, but it wastes its time using Mean Look, so a second Thunder finishes the job, scoring us a surprisingly easy victory. With that win, our Pokemon will now start obeying us until level 50, giving us some much-needed breathing room while leveling. I head straight for Chuck's Flying Gym, since I want to have the Fly HM all ready to speed up travel. Chuck only has 2 Pokemon, starting with Primeape. I focus energy and Karate Chop, but despite the massive crit chance, neither of my Karate Chops crit. I still survive with a bit of health, though. Poliwrath is out, and I miss Thunder just to get Dynamic Punched and confused. It was looking rough, but my next Thunder fully paralyzed him, and then I finished him off. Not only did we get the Storm Badge, allowing our Pokemon to obey us up to level 70, but Volty evolved into Electrode. I think it's safe to say that we shouldn't have any obedience issues for the rest of the game. That means the rest of the challenge will be seeing how low level I can beat the game with. That's always fun. Team Rocket was a total sweep, so let's skip ahead all the way to the Ice Gym leader Price, and man, speaking of sweeps, it was a complete one-shot sweep with Karate Chop. Muscle's been a real tank. Next we're on to... oh, right, I forgot that I can't actually progress until I do Jasmine's Steel Gym. I didn't even remember to do the lighthouse. Right, I need to go get the medicine to cure Amphi. Steel Gym Leader Jasmine goes about as easily as you'd think thanks to Muscle, another one-shot sweep. We have one last rival fight before we can go to the Dragon Gym. First is Golbat versus Rocky. I get bit for big damage and flinch, with the second bite taking us below half health, as our rock throw hits it hard. We trade shots, but I lose the exchange and have to switch out for Muscle to finish it off with Strength. Next is Meganium, who hits us with Poison Powder, but 2 Strengths take it out. May I take a moment to say, by the way, I think I said Meganium right, but I'm bad at reading Pokemon names, because I haven't heard most of them out loud before. There's now a conspiracy theory in the comments section that I say them wrong on purpose to get more comments. Guys, that's ridiculous. When I want more comments, you already know, I do the fossil joke. No fossils in this game though, so let's just go back to the challenge. Third is Haunter, so I send out Volty, but I miss with Thunder. Haunter curses me, and I miss a second Thunder and get hit with Shadow Ball, so my health is half. I miss Thunder yet again, and take even more Curse and Shadow Ball damage and am almost dead. Finally, I hit with Thunder and take out Haunter. I switch for Muscle to deal with Magnemite in one Karate Chop. Last is Sneasel, but it can't handle a single Karate Chop, winning us the battle. Next I go to Route 45 to go fishing for a Dratini, then grind it to evolve it into a Dragonair to complete the last trade in Johto. Dragonair for a Rhydon named Dawn. I always loved this Pokemon. Would you look at the attack and defense on it? For level 30, Dawn is a beast. But who calls their female Pokemon Dawn? To all the Donnas in the audience, do you like being called Dawn? There we go, there's a part where I ask for comments. I'll get comments from all 2 Donnas watching the video. Anyway, on to Dragon Trainer Claire, the last of the Johto gym leaders. I have no ice moves, so I use Muscle and try to brute force it, and it works surprisingly well. I cross-chop my way through the gym like it was nothing. I thought that was gonna go much worse. Before the Elite Four, we have one last rival battle. First is Sneasel, so I have Dawn stomp it. Fury Cutter hardly hurts us, and it misses Screech, so I take it out without any real trouble. Second is Meganium, so I switch for Muscle. Strength takes it to exactly half health, as his Razor Leaf hurts us. A second Strength does the deal. Next is Golbat, and I switch for Volty, and I nail it with a Thunder for a one-shot. Out comes Magneton, so I switch back to Muscle, and Karate Chop takes it out. Kadabra is next, so I go back to Dawn for Raw Power. He lets off a Future Sight, but shockingly, it only takes one stomp to take him out. Last is Haunter, and I switch back to Volty, and crack off a Thunder for a one-shot. Very easy fight. Before we go into the Elite Four, did you notice that I never fought my rival at the Burned Tower? I literally just forgot to go there. I didn't know that you could skip that. Anyway, we're gonna be outnumbered for each member of the Elite Four, so I'm going to have to level up a bit more first. Muscle is already level 55, so let's get the other 3 up to 50 with some grinding. Here's what our team looks like now. They're strong, but they're still at a big disadvantage. Plus, our team is heavily weighted towards attack and defense, with only Volty having decent special attack and defense. Do you think that we can win now, or do you think that we need to level more? Make your guesses in the comments, and let's give this a shot. First is Psychic Trainer Will. He sends out Xatu, so I start with Volty and one-shot it with Thunder. Next is Jinx, so I switch to Muscle. Psychic hits hard, but Strength hits harder, taking out Jinx. Executor is next, and Strength takes out half its health, but Psychic finishes Muscle. Dawn stomps Executor to finish it. Slowboro's out, so it's back to Volty as I miss Thunder and it raises its special defense. Thanks to that, my second Thunder doesn't finish it, so I have to use an extra one. Last is Xatu, and we miss another Thunder, getting confused in the process. I hit myself in confusion and get hit with Psychic. This is looking bad. Finally, we hit with another Thunder and win the battle. We used a lot more Thunders than I'd like, and I don't have many Ethers for between battles. Next is Poison Trainer Koga. We start with Muscle against his Ariados. 2 Strengths do the job as it tries to double team. I switch to Volty and take care of Venomoth with Thunder and Rollout. I switch back to Muscle for Fortress. Cross Chop hits hard, but it drops spikes, so all my party changes are gonna hurt. I finish it with a Karate Chop. Out comes Crobat, and I switch for Volty again. Thunder hits, taking it out. Last is Muck, so I send out Dawn and try to overpower it. It starts minimizing as I stomp it. Sludge Bomb poisons us, and we miss a lot, but Stomp actually does bonus damage to minimized Pokemon. It's rare that you ever get to take advantage of that. When Stomp finally hits, it wins the battle. Next is Fighting Trainer Bruno, starting with Hitmontop. 1 critical strength takes it out. Second is Hitmonlee, and he stupidly uses Foresight as I crush him with Strength. He's left with a sliver of health, so he hits a double kick, but it doesn't do much before I finish it. Hitmonchan is next and hits me with a Mach Punch, but it hardly hurts. 2 rounds and he goes down. Then it's Machop, and I decide to keep going for Strength. He cross-chops me for a lot of damage, so I cross-chop back and manage to win with a crit. Last is his Onix, and I get an easy one-shot with Karate Chop. That was a pretty simple battle. I use an Ether on Thunder and move on. Last for the Elite Four is Karen, the Dark Trainer. First out is Umbreon, so I cross-chop it for an easy one-shot. Second is Vileplume, so I go for Strength and hit hard for half its life. Petal Dance doesn't do much, so I finish it with a second Strength. Gengar is next, so I switch to Volty for Thunder. She survives but gets paralyzed and hits me with Spite, making me lose extra power points on Thunder. I finish it with Rollout and switch to Muscle for Houndoom. Flamethrower hits hard, but Karate Chop takes out Houndoom easily. Last is Murkrow, and I want to save on Thunders, so I have Dawn stomp it out, and in 2 hits, we get an easy win. Last is Pokemon Champion, Dragon Trainer Lance. He opens with Gyarados, so of course I take it out in 1 Thunder, as it's Water and Flying. He sends out one of his Dragonites, and I take the risk of sending out Dawn, hoping it's not the Dragonite that has Blizzard. It seems like it's not, since it's using Twister, so Dawn and Dragonite go blow for blow until Dawn manages to overpower him and score the knockout. Next is another Dragonite, and I guess that it's the one with Blizzard since I had Dawn out, so I use Strength with Muscle instead. I get paralyzed and hit with Hyper Beam, but manage to knock it out with a crit. Out comes Aerodactyl, but it can't handle a single Thunder. The last Dragonite is out, so I send out Rocky to screech at it, but miss the first one and nearly get taken out with Outrage. Second one misses too, terrible luck. Rocky goes down. I send out Dawn, but he goes down to Outrage as well. This is bad. Dragonite hits itself in confusion, and I land a cross chop, but only get it to half health. I get fully paralyzed and hardly survive Outrage. Strength hits hard, but Muscle goes down. Last is Volty, and 1 Thunder finishes it. We're down to the last of both teams, and I hit Thunder, one-shotting Charizard. With that, we're in the Hall of Fame. This challenge isn't over yet, though, because we have 2 trades left to do in Kanto, and we still have to try and beat Red. So in Kanto, we need Chansey and Gloom. Gloom is easy enough. She has a 15% encounter rate at night, so that's not so bad. Chansey, on the other hand, is horrible. She only has a 1% encounter rate in all of the routes that she's in, so it takes forever to find her. Eventually, I catch one and trade it in for Aerodactyl named Aeroy? What a Geek says is Aeroy. What a terrible name. Fun Pokemon, though. Next, I get Gloom for a Rapidash named Ronnie. Nope, that's the worst name. What? Nice to have a fire type, though. That's the last of the trade Pokemon, though, so we have our full team. As is the case with Gen 2, Kanto gyms are mostly really easy since they're all low levels at this point in the game, so there's no sense in talking about them. Let's just talk about Blue, the last gym leader. Blue sends out Pidgeot first, so I use Volty's Thunder. He sends out Rhydon next, so I send out my over-leveled Muscle, and 1 cross chop does the deal. Can you guess that I was sweeping through all the gyms with Muscle? Next is Alakazam, and I send out Dawn to overpower him. Psychic hits way harder than I was ready for, and Stomp only does half his health and damage, so we lose Dawn on the next round. I have Aeroy finish it with Ancient Power. Back to Volty for Gyarados, and Thunder makes short work of it. Back to Aeroy for Executor, and Fly hits hard, but I should have used Wing Attack first, as he landed a Solar Beam. I survive with the Sliver somehow, and finish it with Wing Attack. Last out is Arcanine, but I don't get to attack due to extreme speed. Rocky hits a Rock Throw, but it hardly hurts. Weirdly, he uses Roar, so Muscle is out. Flamethrower does a good chunk of damage, as I miss Cross Chop. A second, and I'm seriously hurt, but Cross Chop finishes it, getting us the last Kanto badge. It's finally time for the secret final boss of the game, Red. Last chance to make your guesses on if we can do it or not. Here's how our team looks. We are really underleveled for this, so I doubt it, but I'll try my best. Red sends out Pikachu first, so I start with Dawn. He goes for Charm, but thank God he misses, as it would cripple our attack. Stomp hits hard, and Pikachu can't really hurt us, so I have to wear him down. He wastes 2 full restores on Pikachu. Perfect for me, since he can't use them on the scarier Pokemon now. Espeon is next, and I really don't have anything for this, so I have Volty put up a light screen. I still get hit hard with Psychic, but I manage to hit Screech twice before I get taken out. Now that Espeon has low defense, I send out Runny to stomp it. Unfortunately, it survives and takes out Runny, losing my fire type. Next is Rocky as Light Screen falls, so he gets taken out. Aeroy is next, but I don't survive one Psychic. Muscle goes down to one Psychic, as does Dawn. I need to change my strategy. Espeon is too fast and too strong. Second try, and Dawn is in worse shape thanks to Pikachu using Charm a lot, elongating the fight. This time, after I light screened, Espeon used Reflect. This is bad. I missed my first flash, but the second one hits. Psychic misses, and I get a second flash. I ended up going down soon after that. I switched to Muscle, but Light Screen fell, so I get one shot. This run is doomed. I need to try again. One last try before resorting to grinding, though. Dawn is in rougher shape than our first attempt, but is still manageable. Light Screen goes up and Espeon uses Psychic. That is what I wanted. This gives me a chance to screech a bit so I can have Muscle one-shot it before Light Screen is gone. I get 2 screeches and faint, then switch for Muscle. Annoyingly, Espeon used Reflect to boost defense and survives Strength as a result, but Light Screen is enough that Muscle survives Psychic, so a second Strength takes it out. Charizard is next, so I switch to Aeroy and hit Ancient Power as Charizard misses. Even with the type advantage, I hardly hurt it, and Flamethrower does massive damage to us. He takes us out. I don't have Volty anymore, so I send out Rocky. At least Reflect is worn off now. If that was never used, I'd have won by now. Rocky goes down before attacking. Runny hits Stomp, but it hardly hurts. Runny is down. I send out Dawn, but Flamethrower is too much. Muscle is out last and goes down to Flamethrower, taking out my whole team. We got so close to taking out Charizard. If it wasn't for Reflect, we would have won that part. The rest of Red's team is pretty brutal though, so I think we're just too low level right now. I spend a few hours grinding and get up to level 60 with everyone who is below it. I still use Dawn for Pikachu and it goes the same way. I light screen against Espeon as it puts up Reflect. God damn it. I hit a Flash for safety and it pays off as Psychic misses. I hit Screech 3 times. Light Screen faded as Muscle comes out though, so I get one shot. I need Muscle for Snorlax, so let's keep trying until Espeon doesn't Reflect. A few tries later and I just get frustrated and use Thunder. It puts up Reflect, so I Thunder again, and oh my god, I paralyzed it. In fact, it misses a turn due to full paralysis, and my third Thunder took it out. The chances of hitting 3 Thunders in a row isn't great, let alone paralyzing it and having it miss its turn. The Pokemon gods have been favorable to us today. Snorlax is out, so I switch for Muscle and hit a big Cross Chop. It doesn't even do half its health and damage because of Reflect. I miss a second Cross Chop and take damage, but my third Chop gets the kill. Out comes Charizard and Aeroy. I'm faster, so I hit Ancient Power for the one-shot despite the massive level disadvantage. Next is Blastoise, so I send out Volty and I go for Thunder. Not enough to take it out, but it does great damage. Blastoise uses Whirlpool, his weakest move. If he used something better, he probably would have one-shot me. A second Thunder takes him out. Last is his Venusaur, the last Pokemon in the game. I send out Runny and try for Ember. I really wish I had learned either Flamethrower or Fire Blast. I hardly hurt it as it charges a Solar Beam. I stomp and hope for a flinch, but it doesn't work and I get hit hard. Another stomp brings it to low on a crit as it charges again. I go for takedown, and my god, I get a critical hit winning the fight. I overcame a massive level disadvantage, and using a totally type lopsided team, and I managed to beat Red. I'm not even sure what challenge I want to do next. Do you guys want to see me do more of these in-game trade challenges? Because I know that if I do Ruby or Sapphire, there's only 3 in-game trade Pokemon, and they come so late in the game that one is right before the 6th gym, and one is after the 6th gym. So it should be a really brutal one. Either way, there should be another Pokemon challenge next Saturday, hopefully, if I keep working hard enough. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. If you want to see me do more challenges like this, please let me know in the comments or on Twitter. I can always use more ideas from you guys on what I should do next. Also, check out the playlist in the description if you want to watch all the Pokemon challenges that I've already uploaded. If you guys want to see more Pokemon stuff from me, my friend What a Geek and I are doing a black and white randomizer playthrough over on his channel, linked in the description. Also, come by my Twitch TV streams and tell me that this video sent you. It's always cool to see how you found the channel. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.